up, guys? So let's talk today. Let's get right to the fucking subject. Let's talk about the Gt500. Well, introduced in 07, the Gt500 5.4 overhead, dual overhead cam, blown engine with an M122, I think, Eaton blower. Made good power for its day, and subsequently in 09 was the first generation. Then it was 10. Then that changed because it was a 10 was like a bastard child. Then 11 to 12, then 13, 14. So, which ones are the best? 11 to 12. Why are they the best? Well, 5.4 aluminum block, aluminum heads. They had widebands, they had knock sensors, just like a Coyote car, and they responded insanely well to mods. Insanely well. The TR6060 transmission that was in them had a great first gear ratio for launching. You can get the track one, the track, what do you call it, the performance package or track pack with 373s, and that sucker was suited perfectly for daily driving and track use. Coupled with that 6060 transmission with the nice first gear, that in my opinion is the most desirable year Gt500. You can see it out there. They're still asking 35, 36, 37 for an 11 to 12. Now the 07 to 09, they're no slouches either, but they're iron block, iron head. You could throw a blower on it, you could throw a VMP 2.3, you could throw a big stupid Whipple on it or a Kenny Bell and make good power. They're good for about 850 to the rear wheel with a good fuel system, E85 or FTW fuel or whatever. If you have great octane, you can make 800 rear wheel horsepower easily in an 07 to 09. They're obviously the most affordable, but to get that number, you know, you got to get great tuning. I wouldn't recommend big boy horsepower on a 07 to 09 Gt500 unless you had a wideband installed and analoged into the tuning device that the tuner is tuning with. You got to see air fuel in those things. The narrow bands are just not enough. You got to have a AEM Uego wideband and then maybe analog it right into the SCT device so that a remote tuner can see it and go, okay, and they can hit the math, hit the base fuel table, all that stuff. 13 to 14 made the most power out of the factory, but they were wrung out bitches. They had slightly higher compression, they revved higher, they had bigger displacement, they had a TVS supercharger already. They, in my opinion, were done. The moment you start modding that car, you could hear, you know, according to the tuners I work with, you can hear audible knock immediately in those cars. So you either had to desensitize the knock sensors or have excellent race style fuel, 100 octane plus, so that, you know, detonation isn't an issue. I do not like those cars at all. And on top of that, they came with 331s and a 266 first gear. That means you can go like 65, 70 miles an hour in first gear. Awful for drag racing, but Ford wanted to have a really good 0 to 60 time, so getting rid of a 1-2 shift was desirable to them. So they put a 266 first gear in the transmission, 331 gear in the differential, and there you go. Now you can go like 200 mile an hour Mustang, yeah, but a quarter mile in the fucking 12s. Embarrassing for a 600 plus horsepower car with a shitty driver. With a decent driver, you can click off a low 11. Stock 11 to 12 Gt500s were running 11.5, 11.4. Evan Smith did a test on Muscle Mustangs and Fast Forward magazine of him driving a bone stock to the tires, and it went, I believe, 11.5. And I was just like, fuck. And I like how they look. I like the 11 to 12 body style better than the 13, 14. So, if you're in the market for one, try to get an 11 to 12. Those, in my opinion, are the best, the most reliable. A couple of guys with the stock fuel system, fuel pump boosters, and E85 with ID1000s and a good blower run low 10s. I'm saying like 10-1, 10, you know, not like 10-3, 10-4, like 10-1, a very good number for such a big car. The transmission has a better first gear. You can get 373s as an option. That's the year to get. The year never to get, the year to stay away from is the 2010. Why? Because the 2010 was the bastard child of Gt500s. The 2010 had an iron block, aluminum heads, and gosh, widebands, sorta, kinda, and knock sensors, sorta, kinda. It wasn't like, yeah, it's got widebands and knock sensors. It was like fucking weird as fuck. If you try to data log a 2010 Gt500 Mustang, you'll see that certain things come up, certain things don't come up. Things that you expect to see in some parameters you want to record just don't come up. It's just an oddball year. I'd stay away from them. The 07, 09s are becoming affordable. They're in the mid to high 20s. Let's be honest, they're in the high 20s still because of the name Shelby, not because they're great cars. Now, if you're just a Mustang fan and you're wondering, should I buy a new GT from Lebanon Ford with a Roush blower or a used GT500? You get the GT. Why? They make more power. A GT can make 800 wheel with the right, fuel combo, with the right, the right blower, the right tuning. It can make 800 wheel, rev to 8,000 RPMs, not be an issue. GT500 needs a decent amount of work to get there. They make a ton of torque. The transmission is better in the GT500s, but dollar for dollar, mod for mod, I'm a Mustang GT guy. But if I can get my hands on a 2011 to 2012 GT500, I would do it in a heartbeat. Thanks for watching the videos, guys. More videos coming up as I make this more of a vlog style channel. Thank you, guys.